Welcome to the AI for Career Success podcast by Curt Robbins. We're experts at AI coaching and helping professionals like you and your employees upskill in AI. This is episode 197, and I'm Fred Jones.
And I'm Daphne Blake. Today, we are taking a look at a really fascinating piece by Mark Worrall called The Oracle and the Workshop.
Yes, and before we really get into it, I want to address you, the listener, directly for a second. Our goal today is to completely reframe how you think about AI.
Right, because right now there's this pervasive fear.
Exactly. Instead of worrying about some, omniscient machine coming to replace you, we want to look at why your own personal knowledge fundamentally changes the very nature of the AI tool you're using.
It's such a critical shift in perspective. If you look at social media or tech news, the narrative is almost always the zero-sum game, right? You versus the machine.
Yeah, totally fear-driven.
And Worrall argues that this framing is just entirely wrong. To understand how to actually use AI, we have to stop comparing ourselves to it in a vacuum.
Which brings up that amazing analogy he uses about the cleaning business. I love this part.
Oh yeah, the robotic vacuum.
Right. So imagine you're comparing a state-of-the-art autonomous robotic vacuum to a human. But the human has no broom, no mop, and absolutely no cleaning supplies.
Which is just a ridiculous comparison. I mean, obviously the robot wins a sweeping contest against a person using their bare hands.
Right, but that's the point. The true comparison should be the robot versus a person who is actually equipped with cleaning tools. Because the human brings spatial awareness and judgment to the table.
Exactly. A human can look at a room and immediately see, oh, someone spilled coffee by the printer, and prioritize that. They aren't going to, blindly bump into the same chair leg for 10 minutes.
Like the robot might. And so if we translate that to AI and knowledge work, the economic reality isn't human versus AI. It's what the AI can do completely on its own versus what you and the AI can achieve together.
Yeah, and Worrall frames it mathematically. He says AI acts as an exponent on your base skill level.
Okay, but let me push back on that for a second, Daphne, because if AI is an exponent, mathematically, an exponent applied to a base of 0 is still 0.
Right. It's just 0.
But if you scroll through LinkedIn, people are selling these prompt engineering cheat sheets, promising that a total novice can get expert results just by using the right magic words.
Yeah, and that's entirely an illusion. Worrall compares it to, well, it's like someone finding the magical elder wand from Harry Potter, right? This immensely powerful artifact.
And using it to stir their tea.
Exactly. It's absurd. And this leads to what Worrall calls the oracle concept. When a novice, someone with effectively 0 domain knowledge, uses AI, they treat it like this divine oracle.
They ask a question, and they get an answer.
Yes. But because they don't have the expertise to judge that answer, they just have to make this binary gut call, do I trust this or not? It boils down to a cycle of ask, receive, and hope.
Ask, receive, hope. Wow. I mean, that's a terrifying way to operate professionally.
It really is.
But then Worrall contrasts this with the expert's experience, which he calls the workshop.
Right. For the expert, AI isn't an oracle handing down unquestionable truth. They use it more like a TARDIS to explore entirely new territories.
They're actually evaluating the output.
Exactly. They iterate. They already know what better looks like. It's kind of like a master musician who can hear that a guitar is out of tune before they even identify which specific string is off.
They don't need to analyze it note by note. They just sense that the harmony's wrong.
Yeah, they sense the friction.
That is such a powerful way to look at it. But wait, let's take a brief break for a special message from our producer, Curt Robbins.
Hi, this is Curt Robbins. First, thanks for listening. I truly appreciate your support. I want to let you know that I'm currently accepting new clients. My rates are affordable, and I have more than 25 years of experience working for enterprise companies like Microsoft, Northrop Grumman, Oracle, PNC Bank, FedEx, USAA, and Wells Fargo, among many others. If you want to improve your IT documentation and communications, hire me. I deliver fast, know how to use AI to improve efficiency and accuracy, and love going the extra mile to satisfy my clients. Thank you for subscribing and listening. Back to you, Daphne and Fred.
Welcome back to the AI for Career Success podcast, where we help you get smarter than your competition.
So before the break, we were talking about this gap between the oracle and the workshop. And I think we need to understand why the novice is trapped and the expert isn't. It has to be deeper than just the expert memorizing more facts.
Oh, it's much deeper. It actually comes down to how human learning literally installs new perceptual apparatus in the brain.
Perceptual apparatus.
Yeah, cognitive scientists call them schemas. When you deeply learn a domain, your brain builds these highly compressed internal models of how that specific part of reality works.
Okay, that makes me think of the chess grandmaster analogy, because I think that really grounds this idea for people listening.
Oh, definitely. Walk us through that one, Fred.
Right, so if you take a beginner and show them a chessboard mid-game for like 5 seconds, they just see chaos. 64 individual squares, a bunch of random pieces.
They're trying to manually identify every single knight and bishop.
Exactly. But a grandmaster looking at the exact same board, receiving the exact same photons into their eyes, experiences a completely different reality.
They don't see individual pieces at all.
No. They instantly perceive patterns, lines of tension, threats, opportunities. Their schemas instantly compress all that visual data.
And this ties into a brilliant epistemological point. Worrall brings up the physicist David Deutsch, who talks about good explanations having reach.
Reach, I like that word.
Right. Experts use their internal schemas to evaluate if an AI's output is actually consistent with the deep structure of a domain. Because AI doesn't have that. AI is just relying on statistical regularity and pattern matching.
It's essentially playing a massive game of predict the next word. It has absolutely no underlying explanatory structure.
None. Zero. Which is why, when the context shifts and those statistics fall apart, things get dangerous.
Because the AI answers can still look incredibly plausible.
Oh, they look perfectly articulate, but they completely break under new real-world conditions. And the expert catches this instantly because their schemas make the flaws visible.
While the novice is just completely blind to it.
Yes, and crucially, the novice isn't choosing to be lazy here. They literally do not possess the internal mental representations required to see those subtle errors. They can't see what they don't have the apparatus to see.
Wow. Which really highlights the massive irony that Worrall points out regarding how we interact with these tools. It's essentially a reverse Turing test.
Reverse Turing test. I love that framing.
Right. Because normally a Turing test is an intelligence test for the machine. But Worrall says, no, when you use AI, it's an intelligence test for the human.
It's so true. I mean, within seconds of looking at someone's chat log, you can instantly tell if they are an expert or a novice.
Totally. You look at the prompts, the expert is setting constraints, correcting the model, demanding specific structural changes.
And the novice is just asking a vague question and accepting the very first draft.
Ask, receive, hope.
Exactly. And the real tragedy is that the novice thinks that cycle is all the AI does. The entire workshop version of the experience is genuinely imperceptible to them.
They think stirring tea is all the wand is good for.
Yes. So to leave you, the listener, with a final thought to mull over today, you aren't actually choosing whether AI will replace you.
That's the wrong question.
It is. What you are choosing is what AI becomes in your hands. So ask yourself, are you settling for the oracle? Or are you actively putting in the work to build the deep knowledge required to actually step into the workshop?
That is a phenomenal question to end on. Thank you for listening to the AI for Career Success podcast from Curt Robbins, where we help you get smarter than your competition. Please buy us a coffee, and remember that we're experts at coaching you and your employees about AI. We'll see you next time.